Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Spitzer Smart Solution webinar, series of webinars organized by Spitzer with our long-term partners on new solutions that makes companies more cost-effective and more productive in what they do in areas of workforce management, hospitality, and supply chain management. My name is Sandro, and I'm marketing manager for Spitzer Croatia, and will be your host today. This week, with our partner Interroll, we will discuss subject of Internet of Things in hotel room management concept, smart energy management with wireless technology, and showcase some of the most powerful systems that we have at our disposal that will make hospitality services easier and more guest friendly, which will be crucial because of the current world situation that we are living in. But before we start, let me first introduce you with basic functionality of GoToWebinar tool. We try to make this webinar as interactive as possible, so viewers can engage as much as possible on subject at hand. At the upper right corner, you have the red arrow that will open the GoToWebinar control panel. In this panel, there is a box marked on your screen where you can ask questions that you have during the webinar, and by the end of the presentation we will have a separate Q&A session where our panelists will try to answer them as best they can. If they can, because of the time limit or any other situation, you will receive written answers on email you registered for this webinar. Without further ado, I'll just introduce our hosts today, panelists. We have President of Interroll Europe, Vice President of Interroll Europe, Mr. Helmut Frank. Hi, Frank. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. And Mr. Ivan Perish, Business Development Manager for Spitzer Croatia.
Hi, Jordan. Hi.
Hi. Let's talk about the agenda we have for today. Agenda will be we will discuss about Spitzer first to introduce you about what we as a company do. Then we will talk about a little about the Interroll to introduce you to Interroll. Then we have a room management system, guest room management systems, and all things that go in between, and Internet of Things, hospitality of things concept that goes. Furthermore, we will discuss references that we have, and at the end we will discuss Q&A, all the questions that you have. So let's switch over to Ivan, Mr. Ivan, to start the presentation.
Okay. Thanks to everyone for joining us today on this webinar. I hope you will enjoy it. It will be good for you, and then you can maybe learn something about what we do and what could benefit your hotel or the area of work you are working in. So I will just do a quick introduction on Spitzer for the attendees that don't know about Spitzer. Spitzer is a group of companies, so-called Spitzer Group. We have local offices of our own in 6 countries of so-called Balkan region, and we have a lot of partners worldwide, including finished projects in more than 30 countries, together with a total of 130 employees. For this region and for the region we are targeting this webinar to, you can see on the right all the countries we are presenting, all the areas of work we worked on, like hospitality, workforce management, and supply chain management. This is a hospitality-based webinar, so together with our partner Interroll, we are trying to do this much more interesting for you. What we can say here is that we have already done 500 various hospitality installations. Spitzer has its own products like a time space, which is a time and attendance, as well as access control software and hardware. And this program is being calculated into the top 20 in the world by an American company called Gartner. Also, there is a Voice Extreme product we do, which is supply chain management product for warehouse controls. And as well, there is a engineering for hospitality application called Advantas. This was just an overview of Spitza. I will give a word to Mr. Helmut to introduce Interroll a bit more. Helmut?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ivan, and thank you, Sandra, for your organization and your introduction. I'm really delighted to do my part, and thanks for the online audience as well to take part. Yeah, a few words referring to Interroll. We have more than 30 years experience. We are purely focused on the hospitality business and hospitality market. We are a member of these HTNG, means Hospitality Technology Next Generation, with a few received awards referring to this, and achieved with the award for the future-oriented solutions, SHOT, which we will talking about in a few minutes later. Interroll is divided in 4 regions. Is it possible to switch? Yeah, it's divided. Thank you. It's divided in four regions. We are an international company, as you can imagine. In Middle East / Africa, Asia Pacific, Americas, and the entire European region, including CIS. I'm in charge of the Europe region and supported by great colleagues, sales managers, engineers, and project engineers, and yeah, and especially with our awesome partner Spitza, and meantime references in almost all European states. Okay. Yeah, and these are a small selection of our companies and chains we are working with, starting from S Accor until WS Warehouse. Not only focused on big chains, also focused on private business properties and so on, and small chains, as you can see. So yeah, that's what we do, and thank you, and looking forward to our next steps.
Okay, thank you, Helmut. I will take back the presentation just to start with a short overview of room management systems we do together with our partner Interroll. So just to keep everyone informed, we can different two different systems which are based on the same equipment and on the same workflow. It's called GRMS as a guest room management system, which is really well known in worldwide properties as well. And there is an EMS system, which is only an energy management system. So the both systems, as you can see on this comparison slide, are pretty much the same. There are only a few differences, like the guest requests like D&D, mock-up room, makeup room, butler call, laundry call. This is what is done in GRMS, and the EMS, we are talking about clean energy management within your property. What is the most important here is that both of the systems are working on the latest technology. So the bus is being abandoned much more than maybe in some older systems. We are talking about clear TCP or IP or Ethernet communication with the rooms. The option B is to go with the Wi-Fi, which can be really interesting for existing properties, and also the Zigbee, the Bluetooth, the iBeacons. All the modern protocols are supported on the both systems. When talking about equipment, there are plenty of controller options. Every single room controller can be expanded with sorry, with much more expansion models. All kinds of protocols are supported, but I will give you a better insight in a few slides later. When talking about the control of the room is standardly controlled using the control panels, as you can see on the right. What is important here is that you can really design them in any way you want to do. So the interior designers are usually delighted with this. They can draw new icons. They can use existing library. They can switch between 700 colors, they can even match. We can even match a design of the property, as you can see on the top right. Also, there are a few languages which can be added. Any font can be used, any font you give to us, and you can even go with 6 different backlight LED colors on the panel. So the most important part here is that there is almost absolutely no limit for the interior designers or investors to have what they want to have. When talking about technology behind, actually, to just discuss and how the concept of this system works, we can just do an overview of one room where you have a controller like this as a central figure, and it can do all kind of different stuff like on-off light control. You can do advanced thermoregulation. You can connect all kinds of devices to it, expand it with modern protocols such as DALI or DMX. Also, it supports the modern protocols as Bluetooth, Zigbee, and Wi-Fi. And so on and so on. Curtain control, sensors, everything is connected to this controller, which is real-time connected with all other systems within a hotel. The infrastructure for this system is quite easy. You can do it with using a telephone room or network from floor cabinets, or depends on how the hotel is being made. So the structural cabling is really easy because you only need to have one cable for interval per room. This can be done in a different way. You can maybe have an access point, which is also a switch within a room. Then they will connect directly to a port on that switch. So this can be done in a plenty of ways. What's important here is to mention that the software is easily integrated into BMS, into PMS with IPTV solution, tablet solution, voice control solution, and so on, so on. Everything can be connected to cloud. Everything is web-based, so you will always be sure about possibility of connecting from any point you want to connect to check the status of the rooms, to check how is the hotel working, and so on and so on. Option B, which I mentioned already, is to have a Wi-Fi controllers within a room, which means you can actually use your existing hotel Wi-Fi infrastructure. So there is no need for any cables outside of the room. Within a room, you can also have a lot of wireless control devices like sensors, like motion detectors, and so on and so on. The only cable you will need to have in that case is between intervals, thermostat, and the controller. So if you have an existing property, this can be really easily implemented into it with a minimum of works required. What is also a big benefit when talking about the workflow of this system is that Interval does not deal with access control in the rooms. Interval was doing that before, but they realized that it's better to integrate directly with top vendors of hospitality electronic locking solutions, like the 4 you can see on this list: Hefele, ASAB, Lloyd, Dormakaba, and Salto. So Interval is fully integrated with a vision line from ASAB, Lloyd, with dialog from Hefele, with SafLock system. So you can really easily integrate the rooms together with this system. To explain what are the benefits, I will do a small interactive presentation part. So when talking about one room, you will have 2 different systems in a room. There is an interval controller, which controls the guest room management. And there is a door lock, which is just for the entry into the rooms. Both systems are completely separated. If you want to have them online and in bigger properties, you want to know on the reception, you want to know in BMS room, in the control room, you want to know what's happening in the rooms, then you need to have a server connection together with the devices in the field. So Interval needs to connect its server to controller, and the lock server needs to connect itself with a lock. So how is this done? As mentioned, Interval is doing this using TCP or IP Ethernet connection or Wi-Fi. While in the case of locks, you will usually go with so-called Zigbee or BLE equipment, which is installed into the hallways, and you will actually create a different Wi-Fi network for the locks. This means that besides the Wi-Fi you already have in a hotel, there is also a need for another infrastructure for the door locks. The benefit of this is that Interel did so-called double integration with aforementioned door lock vendors. So via Zigbee or via BLE, we can connect our controller directly with a door lock in a room, and also via TCP or IP, we can connect our servers together. So we are doing integration on a room level and on a server level as well. This means that you will have a zero possibility of some problems which may occur in case of just one of integration, if it's not a double. So in this case, you will receive an online function of door locks without a need for separated infrastructure. So the door lock will communicate using Interel controller, using Interel server, will go directly to its own server, and the opposite informations can go in the opposite way as well. The big benefits of this are that you can implement mobile key system, because within a room you have a system which works without the need for a card holder, which will be explained later. So also there is a real-time information exchange. So when someone opens the door, we will immediately know who is entering the room, and the opposite way. So there are plenty of advantages which can be used and which are being met when implementing this system together. So the two systems in this case will work as one system. When talking about how the system works, I will use this slide to explain to you that the main thing before I proceed is that to mention that Interel does not use a card holder. So you can enter your room with a mobile or with a card. It doesn't matter. You will simply open the door, and there is nothing else you need to do to power up your room. So the Interel made this workflow together with integration with door lock vendors, which makes it easy for guests to understand. So guest needs to enter the room. As soon as the guest presses the card or the mobile phone on the lock will notify our system that someone is entering. Sorry. When the system knows that someone is entering, it will quickly trigger the motion sensors implemented into our equipment. You can see it between off and auto here. And in case the system finds the guest, the system will go to guest in the room status. So in this case, we will know that guest is inside the room, and guest will have a full operation. So there is no need for card holder. Guest enters inside and everything is being automated. When guest exits, we will receive a note from the door lock that the guest is going out. And we will do a motion scan once more. In case there is no one left inside for some time of X minutes, we will turn off the light and we will set back the temperature. We will go to energy saving. So there are a few modes we will be doing here. And most important is that we will save energy without the need for guests to doing anything. So if guests, in case the system has a card holder, the guest can leave one card and go out and nothing will be saved. So the Interel system cannot be so-called fooled here. There is also an option for staff entry. The workflow is the same. The door lock tells us if someone is entering. We are trying to find it. In case we find it, we will not be searching for guest presence anymore. So we will know it's staff entering, and maybe we can lock some functions so the, I don't know, housekeeping cannot change the temperature guest left and so on. Sorry. So maybe just to mention here on slide before, which is a pretty common question: what happens if one guest goes to, I don't know, it's somewhere in the bathroom where you cannot scan it? The system or guest goes to bed, I don't know, to sleep. The system will do a motion scan and it will check that someone is sleeping, but in case it's in a range of our scan detection, we will know that someone is still there, even if the guest moves while sleeping or turns around or so on and so on. So really there are plenty of securities which are being implemented into the workflow to be sure that the error is reduced to minimum. So just to show you one configuration example, this is one standard European room, and you can see it together with several panels installed. There are also panels that can be together with power sockets implemented, like the A1 or A2 panel here, which are being made bedside. There is a thermostat which has a motion sensor implemented, and it's covering a really huge area of the room. And also there is an optional wired or wireless ceiling mounted motion sensor, which is marked as B1 in a room. So this is just a configuration example to see that what can be done. So there are rooms with plenty more panels. There are rooms with only thermostat, but this system can cover it a lot. So it's covering HVAC, it's covering light control. Everything is being automated. Also, motion sensors are covering the gas detection presence. So this is just to show you one configuration together with integration with the Zigbee with the door lock vendors. Okay, so I will give a word to Helmut. Helmut, maybe Sandra, you can share a screen with Helmut now, please.
Okay, referring to our integrations. Yeah, well, why do we do integrations, and what's behind? I think that's the questions we should talk about. Of course, we do this integration. It's a request, and to convince our customers means you. But end of the days, to enhance the guest experiences itself, what we have to do. We have to do a lot of integration, as partially already mentioned by Ivan. We have to do the related VRV or HVAC or central gateway integration to control the air quality. Then we have to deal with all the PMS systems. The door lock vendors was already mentioned, and then we have to deal with solutions, with hardware solutions. In general, we are talking about, in our case, about hardware and software. You will see a few slides referring to this, and there are two existing corporations with Wimar related to the history. As mentioned, we produce in northern part of Italy, so Wimar is Italian supplier, and Gira was my former company, and we integrate all these devices, as well as to deliver service management interfaces with these suppliers. And following up to the slides on the right side, to do these integrations, we have to do a few more things. We will integrate in that case to be enabled to control the GRMS in that case with the existing smart devices as phones, as tablets. We are using server-based integrated mobile solutions, so it's certified in that case, so it will work always. We are using in that case the API protocol to integrate all these mentioned vendors and all these solutions. Yeah, maybe API means an application program interface. That's a technology through which different software or programs can interact and exchange data on a both-way traffic. That's, I think, very important, means to send and to receive. And here in the middle, you see, for example, that's one of the latest integrations with ENG Hospitality. It's a professional part, as if you would compare it with Alexa, for example. Good. And this is a further integration. I hope it will work. There's a quick or a short wider group integrated with, in that case, with SweetVet. It's a project which was finalized in Dubai, where our headquarters is based, and I try it, and you will see what's possible with this integration. Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, as you have seen, it's easy to integrate such functionality, and you can use the entire guest experience. You can control via this devices, not only radio, TV stations, and so on, and to use merchandising activities and offers as well. But you can despite on this, you can use additional all these integrations of the GRMS system as D&D or a service, such things as well. It's pretty easy, and that's based on this mentioned API protocol, and of course it's all these things are certified. Okay, coming to the topic HOT and IoT directly. Well, there's a lot of noise about and hype about IoT. You heard about. Most of these things are related to protection areas, especially in the automotive industry. But what's about behind in the hospitality industry? How it looks like, and what do you do with these things until now? That's a question to. Well, that's a question, but all these things are existing. We have quality sensors, you have door lock integration, you have motion sensor, there are mini bars and other smart devices. But how does your infrastructure looks like? The point is, it's not easy to connecting your hotel's people, the related devices, and to collect the important data. Means in that case, people are the most important topic, of course, without any doubt. To integrate housekeeping, to integrate all the services behind the maintenance in that case, and especially to enhance the guest experiences. However, you have to manage a growing number of connected things. That's a fact. Doesn't matter which property we're talking about. In that sketch, you use the at the ground, of course, the main station, the technology main station, which is indirectly related to us. And but we are focused on the middle part of this, and have a look into how to deal with these things. As you can see there are really a lot of integrations, a lot of devices are implemented, but how to deal with this and why are there? This thermostat was already mentioned, the door lock, the existing ones, of course the guest itself, but the main point and to divide this are the different sensors which are there, and the different units we have to control, and these ones are controlled by actuators. That's the opposite from the sensor. Sensor send signals, the actuators receive these signals and control whatever. But however, these things have to be integrated, and in general, we are talking about 3 different types of integration. These ones which are already integrated, as maybe the HVAC control, but not at this case, but not maybe the shades or the blades in that case, and maybe not the other voice, the other devices, or to control it via voice. So means a second part which is not already integrated in your system, in the GRMS, in the HOT, however you want to call do you want to name this. And the third part, this is affected to the out of the room, which is indirectly if affected, means we receive and we have to deal with this. We have to deliver the interfaces to these parts to central functionalities as well. That's what we do and what we have to do additional. But we are really focused on this room integration. Okay. We talked about main topics are the people which works in the hospitality sector. These should have to be part of this entire view. Then we talked about, or especially Ivan talked about the energy and the room control management system. Additional, there's an existing water management system, but this would be a part we have to handle separately. It's, as you can imagine, it's a big topic behind. But there are all these sensors, which brings different advantages if it's possible to integrate them, and the actuators which do these orders and bring it to the point. All of these things has to be connect via Connect Be Smart. That's a part we use this wording, and connect via Wi-Fi or wired. It's possible as well, but to bring it to all these functionalities to the central server or to a cloud. And okay, the future will be without any doubt will be cloud-based solutions. What does it mean? Well, to using the existing hardware infrastructure is a big topic. Hardware is definitively a necessity, but this has to be developed that it's possible to deal with this hardware and to be up credibility of the software topics which are coming up, and a big point without any doubts is the longevity of the existing hardware, and that's our goal, and you will see an example which is related to this. This brings us to the point. On the button, you see the water management, room control, energy management system. That's our integral. We're talking about the integral operation system, and it's based on hardware, existing hardware. Then there is the OS layer, which is enabled by our Connect Be Smart. Then additional, there are existing application layers, and there you can see different solutions, a lot of different suppliers, and that's not all the ones we are covering. But to split it in different pillars, we are talking about services in general, then the log integration as mentioned, minibar and such topics which has to be refilled. Voice control is a topic which is increasing, and especially the API integration of a lot of vendors and a lot of upcoming vendors. So with this infrastructure and with these integrated applications, which and the integration of this application via our Connect Be Smart, It is possible to bring all these activities in your properties and to deliver these solutions. What does it mean exactly? In that case, we are talking indeed of IoT, of Internet of Things. In that case, the heart which enables this one is our built-in BLE communication. As you can see, with these things, that's only a few examples. But we are talking not about only the integration of these things. That's one topic, but you have to deliver and to consider the infrastructure, because if there's an existing hardware and if there's an existing existing applications, you have to cover this entire property, and in that case, such a floor. These blue points are for example our tags, means our thermostat panels. It could be another devices as well. Could be a device which is housed on the corridor itself. And via this infrastructure, we are covering the entire, in that case, the entire floor of the property. Means all activities will send related informations. Normally, all related informations are named, let's say it on this way, so you know exactly which device sent a signal, where exactly is this placed. And all of us knows ROI and to deliver solution which enables to reduce your costs, you reduce your investments, and to bring very fast ROI are very welcome. And therefore we want to show you a few use cases with our system. We are talking in starting with EMS, you heard about, and the point is, we are with this solution we can deliver a cut energy usage of at least 25%. Depends on the property as always, but that's a fact. And there you can see an example, only to use our Wi-Fi thermostats to integrate it with all these things which were mentioned by Ivan before. And this thermostat is our hub in the room, and this enables in that case an ROE of approx 36 months. To do all these investments, you need only 36 months to get the cash back in that case. 1 second. So the next example, to eliminate an existing mesh network, means in our case you don't have to take care, you don't have to invest in additional wired network. This is covered via our solutions, and this example is based on, okay, all of these examples are based on dollars. It's related to this property in the Middle East, in Washington, but it's in that case Washington DC. It's similar as we have the situation in Central Europe, so that's definitively realistic. And in that case, the ROI is approx 30 months with this to only to reduce the mesh network and to integrate our system. I think that's really great. And yeah, in the further upcoming topic, most of you are always faced with this topic, minibar. A few chains they reduced the minibars, or they discard them. A few of really high level properties, 5-star, from 5-star up. They have online systems, but most of the existing minibars are offline systems, of course. And what do we do? There's only an integrated window sensors, which we're talking about an investment of a few euros. And in that case, these examples shows you 2 examples, one for 300 rooms and the other ones for 80 rooms. So in that case, to cover all these things, we have an ROI of 36 months as it was before as well. And on the previous slide, we talked about the longevity of the infrastructure and to being able to do updates to move forward with the software without that you have to exchange your hardware, and that's an example in that case. It's a property in Dubai. It's a very, this was built up and opened approx 7 years, a little bit more ago, and equipment is still in 100% functionality, and all these things we covered before are enabled to integrate them now, and they want to proceed with the next steps. That's why I highlighted this project. Well, as you saw, all these things are definitively affecting your bottom line. We divided it in 3 pillars: on the economic part, social part, and environmental. Economic, I'm pretty sure this is a part which is important for all of us. We do energy savings in that case, and of course related to this we increase your revenue, but it's a part for social aspects as well, because it enhances definitively the guest and your staff experiences, because you can avoid a lot of things. I will show you it in a upcoming slide, and this is possible with the increased in automation in the background, which is really based on the background, and no one is faced with this topic directly, and of course the environmental topic, and to reduce waste and to reduce the energy consumption. There you can see a few use cases which are possible to offer with the IoT. The first one, the housekeeping will know exactly which rooms are already cleaned. They will know exactly which rooms are free, and in that case, to enhance the efficiency in that case, it's possible to track the housekeeping as well. That's not only to control them, but it's part of safety in that case as well, and part of efficiency. Then if someone pressed a button, for example, to get the laundry service, the system knows it exactly, and the people behind where the next related housekeeping, and then they have to go directly to this room. Very simple, and therefore to reduce the time. We mentioned this example with a minibar. Yeah, in that case, if a minibar wasn't opened, you don't have to control it. Very simple. Asset tracking, that's part of food trays. You can track trolleys as well. You know exactly where they are, and that's definitely a good point. Someone they going lost. And the automated energy saving in that case with the eco mode and with the combination you heard about, and to enhance the air quality, that's and definitely big and coming up point, especially in these extraordinary times. Yeah, well, a further use cases. You have to imagine, in let's say in 4-star, 5-star properties, the hotels are deliver a few basket, but as you can see, and that's part of your experience maybe as well, sometimes you don't want to have this at the moment, and to avoid to throw these things away, it's pretty simple. In that case, not in your basket, it's not the fruit. There's only a Bluetooth button. You press it, and you receive the fresh fruits when you want to enjoy them. And yeah, this is an example. It means in that case we're talking about 15. We're talking about 12,000 tons of fruits, which would be thrown away every year only in the UK. It's yeah, it's really incredible. Okay, so you can avoid definitively with such a simple solution this waste of food and energy and all the things behind. We are talking in that case, as you saw in the slide with the fruit basket. If you press this button, then will be automatically coming up an activity, and in that case as well, if the air is going bad or the quality is going down, then the air condition will be activated or automatically switched on a higher level, and yeah, and these our system define in that case the rules and triggers these related action automatically if you want to have this. Yeah, a quick summary in that case maybe. Our heart is our human control unit itself. In our panels are these beacon and Bluetooth low energy devices integrated, and with these with these things we deliver infrastructure, IaaS and a SaaS infrastructure model, and yeah, without additional costs, it's integrated by default. This brings us to a further conclusion. I would say in that case, to bring it on a wider view, these are examples for the things you can integrate. But if you are looking to your property, and if you are maybe if this property is part of more properties, if you have a chain behind or different brands, you can exchange all this information via cloud-based solution, and to share related informations to your other properties. For an example, if there is a guest which wants, in that case, which wants to have 23 degrees, this temperature, his well-being temperature, so it's part of the guest profile. You can integrate this in your PMS system, and the system knows it automatically. If the guest goes to the next property, you will activate these 23 degrees or activate a special TV channel, whatever, and you can exchange your data without any additional cost in that case. Maybe it was a little bit fast. I hope it was possible to follow. It's not so easy for us because we don't see the reactions from the audience, but I hope it was possible to understand, to follow. Coming up to a few references. As mentioned, we are more or less worldwide active. We are really a global company. There are existing references, great references from the Northern America until Japan. And on the right side, this one is the Charles Munich. It was an existing building which is in Germany. It was a refurbishment, and the refurbishment was finalized this month, and without any additional cable infrastructure. It was really a great experience for all the participants. And now a few references which are really focused on the energy management system, though means the lowest level, and the references which are possible to cover with these, from our point of view, really simple to integrate energy management system, as you already heard. This is a Fairmont in Canada. It was our first EMS project, which was finalized in 2018. It's split it in different parts. You use these room numbers. You see how the RCU is connected, the door log integration, and the PMS. And in that case, it's connected via Wi-Fi. It was a refurbishment project, as you can see on the slide. So it wasn't possible to do additional wirings, and it worked. This one is new in the Caribbean Sea, which was opened end of last year. 130 rooms, EMS system behind, and with a Wi-Fi. In that case, with door log integration with Salto, and a separate HVAC system by LG. A double tree in India with a RCU Wi-Fi as well. We covered of course the motion detection in the room and all the things, door log integration, PMS integration. That's a project in Netherlands. Okura it's a small chain from Japan. There were 3 different steps of renovation. So God will, we will finalize next week the 3rd part, and therefore all the rooms with our system, in total 298 rooms. There's a wired RCU. It was possible in that case without any issues. There's a wing card system integrated as a door log vendor, and PMS is Opera. It's a very interesting project, and as mentioned, we did the integration with our partner in 3 steps. An upcoming Marriott, the relatively new brand, more or less, the Moxie, quite successful brand. In that case, this was scheduled a little bit earlier, the opening, but referring to COVID, you can imagine it was a little bit postponed. There's an RCU wired, door log car bar, and then HVAC by Lennox, PMS Opera, and directly next to this Moxie, there's a courtyard with a similar situation, but with additional magnetic wired door contact. That's a different in that case. So as you can see, only a few examples from maybe one of the latest project, and to bring it on the international view. Thanks. And now I will take over or hand over to Ivan or to Sandro. Thank you.
Thank you, Helmut, for a very interesting presentation. Now we will move to Q&A session. We have a few questions that we have received during the presentation that hopefully we can get an answer to before we are finished. The first question would be, what kind of a HVAC system can we control with the thermostats? Ivan?
Okay, thank you for this question. Regarding the HVAC, as Helmut can confirm, the internal place itself really high there, because you want to be able to control more or less everything, because if you cannot control some HVAC, then you cannot work on that property. So the integrations are being made with the tons of VRV systems or VRF systems. Also, there is a fan coil systems, most common ones in the hospitality. Maybe the answer is that we can do almost everything, but what we avoid to do is to deal with split systems like the HVAC units we maybe all have at homes. So this is what we avoid to do, because when you have to control a system using the infrared, it's never you can never know if the command you are sending occurred on the device. So we are controlling really more or less everything.
Thank you. So the next question would be an easy one, I guess. Can this system work in hostels as well as a hotel? Helmut, do you want to take over this one?
Could you repeat it, please?
In hotels, does the system work well in hostels as well as a hotel?
Yes, sure. And in our case, well, in our case, we to be honest, we don't take care about if we're talking about hotels or if we're talking about service apartment or hostels or whatever. Yeah, for us, it's a property. We try to integrate the functionality to integrate it in the PMS system and in the door lock to integrate HVAC. So from our point of view, it doesn't matter which property we're talking about in there. Yeah.
Thank you. So we have one more question. During your presentation, you mentioned the Wi-Fi option. How does that work? Can you be more specific? Ivan?
Okay, so both me and Helmut mentioned the Wi-Fi option, which is suitable for both new and existing properties. What is mentioned, we have to mention here, is that you can easily integrate this system because you don't need to have any cable outside of the room. So the room will communicate with the server, but without need for any infrastructure using existing Wi-Fi. Within a room, you only need to have a cable between a controller and thermostat, and you will place controller somewhere you want to have it, which is best suitable for the property. So if you want to have energy management, control your climatization, control your guest presence, then we will place a controller where the cables from the indoor unit of the HVAC systems are going. So we have a lot of experience on this, and it depends from a property to property. The Wi-Fi is requirements are really low. This is what we wanted to do because the Wi-Fi is the most important technology aspect of the guest stay in a hotel. So the guest will always want to have a good Wi-Fi connection for their mobile phones or laptops. So we are, when talking about technical part, we are slightly, almost none influence from our system to the existing Wi-Fi, because it's really on a 100 room property, you will have 4 kilobytes of the connection needed. So really, it's a bandwidth is really low, and even the bad Wi-Fi's can work with our system.
Thank you, Ivan. We have time for one more question. What are the possibilities of the voice control? What can be controlled within a guest room?
It's for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, based on the API integration, it's possible to control all the things which are integrated in the room itself. So means you can control the temperature, the fan speed, for example, the D&D service. You can scenes for examples, in the case of scenes, we're not talking about only about lighting scenes. This is affecting maybe a little bit more. These things can be controlled very easily, and to order something as well. It's possible to use our system in that case as well to order whatever you want.
Thank you. Well, because we are at the time limit, it's already past 1 hour. Any further questions that we have received, we will answer in a written form, and you will receive the answers with an email through the email that you registered to this webinar for. So I want to thank the panelists for presenting this interesting subject. I want to thank you viewers for watching and for giving us time to explain these things. At the screen you will see the email address for our colleague Ivan Perish. You can contact him at ivan.perish@spica.com for any further questions that you need regarding these systems. Thank you, Helmut, and thank you, Ivan, for joining us. And see you.
Thanks very much. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you all together. Thank you, Sandro.
Bye-bye.
Bye.